Ok, bien. Donc, bonjour. Aujourd'hui, c'est le mardi 22 décembre. Ok, on est presque en vacances. On est presque là. On a une petite semaine, une toute petite semaine. Ok. Ok, donc on va commencer avec le coloriage. Ensuite, on va faire du rattrapage. Et puis, on va réviser les couleurs si on a le temps. On va voir. Ok. Donc, pour un échauffement aujourd'hui, hein, commençons avec ça. All right. So for a warm up today, let's go ahead and start with this. So please hop over into Canvas, and it's kind of like a mini quiz. In France, France is technically a secular country, right? So it's technically there's no official religion, but what has been the religion in France that's been there for very, 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 very long time? Does anybody know? Yeah, Catholicism, right? So it's a traditionally, so like it's what I would call a culturally Catholic country, right? So culturally Catholic in the sense that like they have a lot of stuff in their culture that comes from Catholicism. So does anybody know some like marks of Catholicism? So one of them is so the celebration of Christmas is like a big thing, right? But what are some other marks of kind of that Catholic culture? Does anybody know of any? Easter, yeah, Easter is a big holiday. Yep, yep. And I don't know if y'all know, but the Pope was actually in France in the 16th century for a few years. So the Vatican was moved from Rome to the south of France, Avignon. There's another thing in Catholic countries that have Catholic culture like this is Saints Days. So there are a million saints. Palms Days, okay, Palms Days. I don't know Palms Days. Maybe that's like around Easter. I know there's like the palm celebration. I don't know that much. But something that's kind of interesting in French culture that isn't in American culture, at least, and it comes from Catholicism, is Saints' Days. So there are a million Catholic saints, and some of them have really wild stories about getting beheaded or basically kind of like magic almost. Really wild stuff. Some of the stories are pretty wild. And so you actually know the names of some of these saints. And I do, even though I don't know their story, right? So Saint Christopher, Saint, Benjamin. My name is Benjamin. My full name is Benjamin. And so there's like a Saint's Day for Benjamin. And so that day would be like a day to celebrate that if I cared, or not if I don't. But every single day has one. And so Saint Nicolas, la fête de la Saint Nicolas, so Nicholas, Saint Nicholas, is also corresponds with Christmas, celebration of Christmas. There's another Saint's Day in February that I'll bet you know about. Does anybody know what? There's a special Saint's Day on February 14th that y'all probably know about. Yeah, Saint Valentin. Valentine's. So Valentine's Day, that comes from the Saint's Day, right? Of la fête de la Valentin, la fête de la Saint Valentin. So Saint Valentine. I have no idea what Saint Valentine is known for. Any of y'all want to find out? Sweet. All right. And there are lots of places in California named after saints. Yeah. Yeah. I would love to learn more about that history. Growing up in California, San Francisco, Saint Francis, right? Uh, Santa Cruz. I went to school at UC Santa Cruz. So Santa Cruz, San Diego, all these are saints' names, right? Interestingly enough, the name California actually comes from Arabic, caliph. So caliph, king. So it's like the king state, I guess. I don't know. If anybody wants to do a little more digging on that, I'd love it. I'm always curious about that stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know, like, okay, so this is like it's this weird mixing in France of like, okay, well, there's French culture that's been there for centuries, and it's been heavily influenced by Catholicism. And so this is an excuse to practice our clothing vocabulary. In a moment, we'll practice our colors vocabulary with around the theme of this holiday, which is practiced in France, which is observed in France, and is again part of this Catholic tradition. Okay, so regarde l'image du Père Noël. Choisis le bon mot pour décrire ses vêtements. So, up. So if we go to the échauffement, and I'll go ahead and do it so that it looks like it's going to look like for y'all. Père Noël. So Noël, you may know. Père, you're more likely to know. So mon père, ma mère. What do you think Père Noël means? Anybody remember what père means? Yeah, père means father, okay? So Père Noël is going to be Father Christmas, okay? And so that's another name for somebody that we might call, what would we call them in the US in English? We don't talk about Father Christmas so much, it sounds pretty formal. Santa Claus, okay? All right. So again, this is like Saint Nicholas, Father Christmas, Santa Claus have all kind of been, and Coca-Cola, polar bears have all been kind of mashed into one, okay? So this is Père Noël, Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas, whoever you want to call him, okay? And here you've got a series of words, okay? And these are clothing words. Le bonnet, la barbe, not really clothing, le manteau, le pantalon, les bottes. So these are different pieces of clothing. And what I've done is I've given you numbers, right? So what's he wearing? Qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Numéro 1. Qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Numéro 2. Qu'est-ce qu'il porte ici? Numéro 3. Qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Numéro 4. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Et 5. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Okay. So go ahead and take a moment and select the correct answers corresponding to the numbers using the drop downs. And then we'll come back together and go over it. Okay, bien. So let's bring it back and let's work through this together, okay? Ok, allez. Donc, qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Numéro 1, 2, 3, 4 et 5. Qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Donc, numéro 1, qu'est-ce qu'il porte? If somebody wants to practice pronunciation, please say it out loud. Otherwise, you can put it in the chat too. That's cool too. But numéro 1, which one of these is numéro 1 going to be? Qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Yeah, we got one superstar in the chat who's very, very active. I wanna hear from the rest of y'all too. All right. We got one person. Yes, le bonnet. Okay. Qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Il porte le bonnet. Le bonnet. Hein? Ici, il porte un bonnet. So un bonnet is going to be like a knit cap. All right. Or a beanie. Numéro 2, la barbe. Très bien. Donc, numéro 2, ici, c'est la barbe. La barbe. All right, good job. Good job, y'all. I was glad to see more activity in the chat. Sweet. Thank you. OK, donc numéro 2, la barbe. Numéro 3, qu'est-ce qu'il porte ici? Ici. Numéro 3, qu'est-ce que c'est? Un bonnet, une barbe, un manteau, un pantalon ou des bottes? Oui, ici, c'est un manteau. Un manteau. Okay, c'est un manteau. Now, un manteau is going to be a little longer and heavier than a jacket. Okay, so it's going to be a coat. So a heavy coat. So let's it could be fluffier, it could be heavier, it could be longer, but it's going to be one of those things. All right. If it's hard to tell here because he doesn't have any knees, because it's a drawing. But if he had knees, we would have a better idea of, okay, well, how long does this go? And is it really a manteau? Or is it, and what's the other one that might be a little bit shorter? That's not on this list. What's the other word for so not a coat, but a jacket? How do we say a jacket? If we decided, okay, no, this is a little shorter than a coat, it's not going to be un manteau. Ce n'est pas un manteau, c'est, what are we going to call it? Ce n'est pas un manteau, c'est, so if it's shorter, maybe it's thinner and lighter, it's going to be une veste, a jacket, une veste. OK? OK, numéro 4. Numéro 4. Qu'est-ce qu'il porte ici? Qu'est-ce qu'il porte ici? Oui? Got one answer? Anybody else? Le manteau, les bottes, le bonnet, la barbe, le pantalon. Qu'est-ce que c'est ici? Oui, le pantalon. OK? Le pantalon ici. C'est un pantalon. OK? And again, in French, it's going to be singular. Un pantalon, le pantalon. OK? In English, we say pants. All right? But it's going to be singular in French. Le pantalon, un pantalon. And then finally, enfin, pour numéro 5, qu'est-ce que c'est ici? Process of elimination, pretty easy. Qu'est-ce qu'il porte ici? C'est une barbe, un manteau, des bottes, un bonnet ou un pantalon, ici, pour numéro 5. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Oui, les bottes, OK? Les bottes, très bien, OK? Donc, les bottes, ici. Donc, nous avons un bonnet, donc le bonnet, la barbe, le manteau, le pantalon et les bottes. Les bottes. Okay. And I got it all right. And now Canvas is going to freak out. It's going to go all strobe light on me. Start blinking and I broke Canvas. Excellent, excellent. So here I'm going to send you a link to a website where you can color in. And I think it worked last hour. Most people said that they were able to access it. I don't know if Securely is going to shut it down. But most people were able to access this website. And what it is it's allowing you to color in. And what I'd love for you to do is to go ahead and take a little moment to color in. And then after about 5 minutes or so, I'm going to have us bring it back. And I'm going to ask you to help me color it in. So I'll be coloring it in, and you'll be telling me which colors in French I should color in. All right. And so go ahead and access that link. Once you've finished coloring it in, please take the poll that I am publishing now. Okay, I'm launching the poll now. So once everybody's done the poll, we'll know that you finished. And then we'll go through and you'll tell me what colors to color. Okay? Allez, c'est parti. OK. Donc maintenant, je vais colorier et vous allez m'aider, OK, avec les couleurs en français. Donc ici, pour le manteau, quelles deux couleurs? Il y a deux couleurs pour le manteau. Quelles deux couleurs? So which two colors in French should I use to color in le manteau, the coat? We don't have to do it traditional, right? We can switch it up. But I want to hear y'all say it. Quelle couleur pour le manteau? Okay, I see one in the chat. Great. Excellent. I'd love to hear at least one person say it out loud. And it's in my headphones, so it's not going to be part of the recording, not to worry.
Rouge.
Rouge, okay. Rouge. Et quoi d'autre? Rouge et... Quelle couleur? What about for this part? Quelle couleur pour le manteau? Noir, d'accord. Ok, noir, super. Ok, merci. On a colorié un petit peu le Père Noël. Super. Okay. So again, I just wanted to get y'all practicing the colors. All right, there's just one excuse to practice colors. Okay, rattrapage. So for right now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to offer a holiday gift. I would like to offer y'all a gift. Break is coming up. So we just have class today and tomorrow, and then we'll have a nice little break. It's like a week and a half, I think. And I don't know about y'all, but I hate going on break and being on vacation or being on the weekend and feeling like, oh, I got all this work to do and stuff. So I want to invite y'all to take the next 10 minutes, okay, catching up on something. So please take a look at Canvas. And some of you are all caught up. Not all of you, though. Definitely not all of you. Maybe you're missing several smaller assignments, especially ones that we did last week. So please, let's spend 10 minutes. It says 15 minutes here, but we took a little longer with some of the other activities. Let's spend 10 minutes right now to catch up. So one activity that's very important that a lot of folks haven't turned in yet is the recording. I haven't graded it yet, but if you haven't submitted it, I want you all to take some time to do that. Okay, tu portes quoi? Trois. So again, you're just reading aloud, recording, and submitting that recording. Another one that a lot of folks are missing are this one, which is kind of like a quiz where you're looking at the pictures and then you're saying what they're wearing. Okay, so Pharrell, Rihanna, and then some random like Instagram. Michael B. Jordan, I think, was in there too. So what are they wearing, right? And you're using drop downs. And then finally, yesterday, I asked y'all to do a GIM kit. And that's really great practice in that GIM kit. And I really appreciate y'all doing that. So please pick one of those. And I'll ask you to answer in the poll which one you're going to be doing. So please go ahead and commit to spending the next 10 minutes doing one of these activities. If you are all caught up, please go ahead and do the GIM kit again. But a lot of y'all aren't. so please make sure to do one of these activities. Take this next 10 minutes to really work on one of these, okay? And this is my gift to you because I want y'all to be able to relax and rest during the break instead of worrying about finishing something for French. Okay, so please go ahead and make sure to finish those assignments. One person asked for the GIM kit, do we have to get to the money limit? Yeah, and maybe that money limit was too high. So in the future, maybe I'll set it lower if that's what you're having trouble with. Yeah, but make sure to, the way GIM kit works is, I'm not gonna show you because I'm on the, here we go, I'll pause it. Okay, so the way it works is you have to get to a certain like money goal, like you earn a certain amount of money. And it's a lot of fun when you're doing it competitively. For this, because you're doing it solo, it's more just so that I know that you get a certain amount of practice in. So if I set the money goal too high, I apologize for that. But do please finish it. The more practice, the better. And yeah, it's a great way to review this stuff. Okay, so I really want to encourage you all to do that. Tonight, I'll be looking through these slides and putting in grades for this. So you were working in a group for this last week. So make sure that you've finished your end of the work and you've shared the slide with me, right? So make sure that you've shared that slideshow with me. And what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll look and I'll see, okay, well, did Jamie complete this and Jonathan and Beckett? I don't know, I'm coming up with random names here. And I can see who did what in the slides. And so you'll get full credit for doing at least 3 different pieces of clothing. All right, you'll get full credit for that. And if I'm seeing that you only did 1 or 2, you'll get partial credit. And if you didn't do any, then you won't get credit and you'll have to catch up on that, right? So again, this is just one more chance to practice. So I'm trying to give you a lot of different ways to engage with the vocabulary and get some repetition in to practice the vocabulary to help y'all out. So please have that done. And if you don't have it done, get in touch with me and let me know. Make sure that your group member has shared it with me, has shared the slideshow with me, and yeah. Tomorrow we'll be going through that. We'll review colors, and tomorrow we'll review colors and talk about, okay, what is this person wearing? And we'll go through that slideshow and we'll make a list of what that person's wearing. All right, so we'll go through qu'est-ce qu'elle porte? Qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Qu'est-ce qu'elle porte? Okay. Qu'est-ce qu'il porte? All right. So I'll go ahead and stick around if there are questions. Otherwise, I will say au revoir. À demain.